Hi everyone, and welcome to Panic and Me podcast. I have a 21-year-old freelance photographer currently in her last year, studying at Coventry University in the BA Media and Communications course. Introduce yourself.
Hi, so I'm Luana and I'm originally Portuguese, but I've always wanted to study abroad and I wanted to like have new experiences, meet new people, and I've always thought that Portugal was too small for me, so I decided to go abroad and studying in the UK. And furthermore, I also took a sandwich year in Seoul, South Korea, and that's what made allowed me to just get more inspired and really start with my freelance photography. So,
Wow, that seems like a very interesting story.
yeah.
Why did you choose to come to the UK to study?
Yeah, so originally I wanted to study in Lisbon, but there was this study abroad fair, and we where we could get to meet new people and new agent and other agencies that allow other students to study abroad. So basically, at first I wasn't interested because I don't know, I thought it was very too good to be truth, where they allowed to like it was this agency that helped students to go to the UK and like with their student loans financed by the UK government. But then I think a few months later, my friend reached out back to me and she was like, "Oh, what do you think about like studying abroad in the UK?" And I was like, "I mean, it's very expensive and stuff." But then after she explained everything, actually I was very into it, and I was like, "Okay, I want to study something related to communications." At first, I didn't know that I liked photography. I
Mhm.
just know I wanted something within that industry. So I spoke to my parents, and they were very against it. Like it took me 2 months to actually convince them that going abroad was the best decision. But yeah, they said yes. So I left Portugal when I was 18. I started working and so on. So actually, just starting working in Portugal, I used to live in a small village. So it's still close. It was close to the city, but it didn't allow me to like be creative, meeting new people. It was just the same routine over and over again. And I guess I wanted to break that, and I wanted to change my routine and my environment. Like I wanted to change everything. So
Mhm. How did you feel to move to the UK? Did you feel any like anxiety? What did you expect?
actually, as surprising as it may seem, I wasn't anxious at all to move. I
Mhm.
was really like I was beyond excited. I was like, finally I'm gonna change my routine. Maybe it's because I also had a more childish, not childish, but like I was a little bit more naive.
Mhm.
But I guess that allowed me to like not overthink my decisions too much.
Mhm.
And just like go out there and just be like, yeah.
Just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, just go for it
Yeah.
because a lot of people do tend to overthink a lot, and they don't try out new things, and then they think, oh, I should have done that or should have tried that. So I don't have that. At least I did. I tried it. So
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah. So how did you get into photography? You said you chose communication and media.
yeah,
How did you start to love photography?
actually, I think it was ever since Instagram started. I remember like I got at the time I was in my ninth grade in Portugal, and I got a new phone
Mhm.
that had really good quality. At the time, it was Samsung Galaxy S4.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, like I got this new phone because I was gonna go to Paris for a week, and I really wanted to take the best pictures. And I remember that after that, I've always taken pictures of literally everything. But it's surprising that my first camera was only like I only got my first camera in 2019 before
Mhm.
I went to Korea because I liked photography and I liked taking photos, but I never took it too seriously. until I got my hands on, and I actually tried to learn more about it. So after I got my first camera, I went to Seoul, and I was really, really inspired by everything that I was seeing like every day. So it actually started off when I went to Seoul Fashion Week. I wanted to photograph the models, and basically when I got there, I was like very anxious because I saw so many good photographers with big gears and stuff, and I just had a little camera. So I was like, oh my God, this is very intimidating. But after that, I also, before that, I also had a keen in like editing and stuff, because I've always liked to post on Instagram. So I would edit my photos. And I feel like with this, like editing every week, allow me to like develop my editing skills, I guess, and like being inspired by Pinterest and other users that I followed with very good photography as well, and YouTubers as well. So covering this event, like not covering this event, but you know what I mean. And seeing my work and my potential, I was like, wait, this is actually not that bad for like a first time. And then I posted the pictures, and I really got very good feedback. And with that, I started to get just more motivated, I guess, to keep on doing it. And I started addressing myself as freelance photographer because I wanted to like make it permanent.
Yeah, good. So what is your process of working in photography? How do you, I've looked on your Instagram, it's really beautiful stuff
Thank
that you
you.
do, with models and everything. But yeah, what is your process of working?
So basically, I'm a very like not genuine, like depending on the setting and depending on the person, I will just picture kind of a concept. So before the photo shoot, I also always like to plan out and like go on Pinterest and search for, just for example, if I'm doing male photography, then I will search for something related to that. And if I design a concept, if I design a certain concept, then I have to search for. But for example, I get really inspired into like from a lot of my inspiration comes from Korean culture. And for example, I know it might seem weird, but I do get some inspiration from K-pop albums because they have the best photography. And sometimes I just purchase the album just because the photos and the concepts look so good. And I just like the style that they do, because they always try new things and new poses and just new ideas, that something very out of the box. So I actually get most of my inspiration from there. So that's a big part of my preparation, is just getting myself inspired, because when I'm on the spot, sometimes I just may change my mind. And I always like to have new ideas coming up. So so then I scheduled the photo shoot with my costumer, and after the photo shoot comes the editing, and that's the longest part of my job, I guess, because I'm very perfectionist with my editing. And sometimes sometimes when I look at a picture for way too long, I cannot see the imperfections, or I can see too many imperfections. So I always have to rest and then go back. And I always take like a bunch of pictures, because I feel like I can always get better and always get better. But then I end up with 1,000.
Yeah.
That's not so good.
Yeah.
But at least I'm satisfied with the pictures that I come from that I get from the photo shoot. So that's what's most important, is to satisfy my client and myself too.
Of course. Do you feel any anxiety before you're, shooting clients, or do you feel anything like, what if my clients are unsatisfied with the photo shoot, for example?
Oh yeah, actually all the time. That's one of my biggest insecurities.
Yeah.
Like I always try to to deliver the best work I can, like the best photos. So that's why it takes me so long to edit them, because I'm like, what if my client doesn't like this? What if my client doesn't like that? But then at the end of the day, I always try to remind myself that I can never please everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they chose me to take their photographs is because they like my style, they like the way I edit, and I should be confident about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like every artist um has their own way of doing things, and this is my way of doing photography. And if they require for my service, that's because they like the style of my work, so I shouldn't change that much because I might deliver another product.
Mm.
So yeah, I just need to overcome that. But saying it's easier, but practicing like is way harder. Also, I always feel like um the like others work is better than mine, and I can always do better. And like compare, like one thing is getting inspiration from others, like to try out different things, and another thing is comparing myself to others.
Yeah.
And I always try to stay away from comparing myself to others, because I think that's just gonna bring me down and set me back.
Mm.
So
Of course. Yeah. Well, I I study photography at the Arts University Bournemouth, and I thought, oh my gosh, I was so good before I came to uni, and then I came and everyone is a photographer, and it's like,
oh my
wow,
god,
it's so overwhelming, because it's like all you see, like you work with photographers, but all you see is like other photographers. So that is
exactly.
so difficult trying not to compare yourself. So yeah, I completely get where you're coming from.
Yeah, we just gotta know our worth
Yes,
also.
of course. Yeah. So how did you get onto this? Does your course do the sandwich year? So is it like a 4-year course, and then you have like 1 year out placement?
Yeah, basically it's an option. Actually, most of my friends, they graduated already.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I wanted to go to America, but then I got very into Korean culture, and I was like, yeah, it's a different environment. You know what? I'm already in the Western culture, so let me just choose a completely different setting for myself. So I could either do working placement, or I could study abroad. But I really wanted to go to Seoul. So in finding a working placement in Seoul was hard for me. The easiest way to Seoul was study there.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I just started to study in Korea, and then do some freelancing on the side. So that's basically what I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not mandatory,
Yeah.
it's just me wanting to have something more like exciting in my course, because I kind of regret choosing media communications, because it's just a lot of theory and
Mm-hmm.
not much practice. Like my university did give me the tools to do so, but the problem is if they don't teach you the tools, like what is it for then? You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
wanted to know how to work with the tools that they gave me, like the laptop, the all of the Adobe programs like they give you, but I just didn't know how to work with them. And me working with photography would force me to get into these programs and
Of course.
like learn how to work with them
Yeah.
and create a better work. So yeah.
Definitely. How did you feel going to Seoul? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
It
feelings?
was another big experience for me, because actually at first, like I had a friend there, which I met her in my during my degree, during my course in Coventry University. And but then she was living in the UK, to the UK, like the next day that I arrived in Korea. So she welcomed, and she kind of explained me how it works. And then the next day I was just by myself, literally in a foreign country. I've never been to Asia before, but I guess again, like I'm a little bit naive and spontaneous when it comes to these kind of situations. So I just roll with it. I just
Mm.
like to meet new people, and on the first day, I started meeting people, and I started like knowing the places and getting more familiarized with the culture. Like I was already just a little bit, because I liked to watch series and I like their music, but it doesn't compare, of course, living in the country and like knowing part of their culture. So, but I adapted really, really well, like really well, because actually Seoul is very like, Koreans are very, very creative. So everything allows me to be creative. Like even like coffee shops, and they have very creative coffee shops with concepts. People love fashion. They're very, very fashionable. Like I think I've never been in a city where people dress so well, to
Yeah.
the point that it makes me question my fashion choices. So like it's just a very creative place, and I think that boosted me to be even more creative. And for example, whereas in the UK, sometimes I take pictures and people are like, oh, she's a, it's not a habit. I mean, unless you're a tourist, then it's not really a habit
Mm.
for British people to take photos, and I don't know, just taking photos randomly. But in Korea, they love photos. They love photography. If you see a nice spot, there's like a queue for people to take photos. Even Koreans themselves, they love photos. If there's a, for example, pretty sunset, you will see a lot of people standing up to take photos of the sunset. And in here, you don't really see that. So I guess I was like, oh, okay, I'm just doing what everyone does it already, so it's fine.
Yeah,
So I think
that's
that helped
like
me
a
a lot.
really
So
nice environment and a great
yeah,
experience. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna wrap up. So thank you for coming on Panic and Me, and it was great to
thank you
talk
so much.
as well.
Thank you so much for having me.